Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Gears 12 here, and I am back with another review today. Today I'm reviewing the new record from the Acacia Strain, which is entitled Death is the Only Mortal. The full track listing and the personnel who played on this record will be in the description below, but I want to go through some tracks that really caught my attention, and I'll tell you why in a few seconds. The opening track, Doomblade, has a audio clip from, I think it's The Exorcist, not the original Exorcist, it was an Exorcist movie, I think that came out earlier this year or something like that, and they had the audio of the tape of the supposed woman who called in 911 and said, I killed 3 people, and you probably know what I'm talking about, but don't remember the movie title, but I heard that and remembered it from seeing it on the trailers and stuff like that for that movie, and I was like, wow, and they had the audio clip, and then they went on into the song called Doomblade. So that really, the song Doomblade got me set up for what this album is, because for me as a person who enjoys metal, like deathcore, which is this album feels like a deathcore type album. Basically, I'm not really into like deathcore per se that much, but I decided to give it a shot, and I was actually kind of surprised. But so that's the first track, Our Lady of Perpetual Sorrow. Sorry about that. I'm checking it. Our Lady of Perpetual Sorrow was a good opening. That was a really different opening to the song than the other songs on the album, and it really caught me off guard. Like, whoa, like what? Is this the same album? And yes, and then it went off, of course, into the chugging riffs and all that from the Acacia Strain, as we know. And then the final track that really caught my attention was House of Abandon. About in the middle of the album, the middle of the track. Sorry. Had a moment where it was this really beautiful guitar melody, and it was really, really awesome to hear that, and it just blew me away. I'm like, this just sounds so simple, yet it sounds so awesome. It just really caught me off guard that the band did that. But for the rest of the album, basically, here's how I see it. If you are a deathcore fan, if you're into chugging riffs and basically just a lot of chugging riffs and a lot of just breakdowns and stuff like that, a lot of breakdown type music stuff, then this album will suit you well and you will enjoy this record, I believe. If you're not a fan of if you're not really a fan of deathcore, or you're not really a fan of a bunch of chugging riffs and basically just a lot of simple type writing, like chugging riffs and breakdown type stuff, you're not really into that, then you're probably not going to enjoy this album. But for me personally, I have mixed feelings for it, but I looked at it with an open mind, and I came out after listening to the album pretty satisfied with what the album gave to me. Because what the album for me gave me is that the band is sticking to that deathcore type thing. There's a lot of chugging riffs, but some of the chugging riffs actually caught me off guard and actually sounded pretty cool, and it didn't sound like another typical metal band or a deathcore band trying to do it. There was actually some riffs that actually was sounded kind of unique to me, because a lot of people will say that deathcore or stuff like that, like a lot of the chugging riffs are similar, and it's kind of like, well, any band could write that. But there were some riffs on this album that really, in the form of chugging riffs, you would call it, actually caught me off guard. And the intro to that second track, the Perpetual Sorrow song, which is in the description, the second one, basically caught me off guard with the way the intro was on that song. It was a different type of style of riff, but it just caught me off guard, and I enjoyed that. And then, of course, House of Abandon, the final track in the middle section, that solo bit, because once I heard that, and then hearing the rest of the album to get to that point, in the halfway into House of Abandon, and hearing that melody, was questioning, why is there not more melodies on this record? Because basically what you're going to hear on this record is a bunch of riffs, a bunch of chuggy riffs, a bunch of breakdowns. There's not much else going on the record, and basically that's really it. The only melody type part that really caught me off guard and really surprised me was House of Abandon, which only lasted for 20 seconds, but then of course after it's over, you could hear acoustic guitar and I think some piano. I'm not 100% sure after that little melody thing on House of Abandon. But the rest of the album didn't live up to the expectations of like halfway to the ending of House of Abandon, because the rest of the album is basically chugging riffs and just, basically just playing a bunch of breakdowns. That's what it sounded like to me. But I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying I think the band has more potential. They could have done more on this record, in my opinion. I feel like they could have added more melodies like there is on House of Abandon. I feel like they could have just added more variety of style of writing on this record, rather than just writing a bunch of riffs, chugging type riffs, as people call them, quotations, and put them together for the record. So basically, like I said, once again, if you're into deathcore and you really enjoy that style of writing, the chugging riffs, the breakdowns, stuff like that, you really enjoy that, then this album will suit you. This album is going to be good for you because you'll enjoy it. It's got the simplest stuff. You'll just basically enjoy it. That's really it. But if you're not really into that, like if you're into more of a, you know, progressive type style, or you're into more of like, you know, thrash or something like that, or you're into, you know, just basically a style of like, you know, Testament writing or Exodus, or if you're into like All That Remains, or you're into like Between the Buried and Me, or you're into Trivium, or you're into Cannibal Corpse per se, you're not going to enjoy this record. I don't think you would. You might, but for me personally, if you're comparing it to, let's say like your favorite band is Killswitch Engage, and you listen to this album, you're not going to be satisfied. You're just going to go, this does not even come close. If your favorite band is another deathcore band that's pretty popular, you'll enjoy the record. That's how I see it. But this album really has one thing going for it, is the continuation of deathcore riffs, these chugging riffs, and only one highlight moment that really made me think this band could do more. But the album is basically what it is. It's a deathcore type album with 10 tracks, and you just hear over and over and over again chugging riffs, some that sound like another band has already done it, or it sounds so simple to write you could even write it. And then there's some chugging riffs that are really good and really amazing. But I'm not saying it's a bashing thing. I'm just saying is this type of style of writing, or basically this band, could have done more to the album, because I feel like the band could just do more. I mean, people would say, well, that's not their style of writing. Well, after hearing the 20 seconds of the guitar melodies on House of Abandon, and then hearing the rest of the album before that part, I'm wondering, where are the other moments like that? Where are the other amazing like slow down moments, or where is the more complex writing? Like, this band could do more, and it just didn't happen. It kind of just fell back into the simplistic writing of chugging riff, a different style of chugging riff, a different style of chugging riff, a breakdown. Then we go back, oh, another chugging riff, a faster chugging riff, then another chugging riff. It just feels like that, just a continuation. There's nothing really else going on in this record besides the second track, which opens up a different way. Then it starts off a different way, basically. Then the rest of the album, starter tracks, and then House of Abandon, halfway through, you actually get to hear some potential of what the band could have done on the record, but they didn't. They waited till the very end of the album to show some guitar melodies, something different than just chugging riffs. So, once again, before this video ends, if you like deathcore, this is the album for you. You will enjoy it. If you don't like deathcore, stay away from it, because you're not going to enjoy it. So, that's the review, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I know that I just talked a lot about the style of writing, but this is what that album gives. It just gives you basic chugging riffs. The production's okay. It's just what it is. It's just chugging riffs, and that's all that it really gives you. So, thank you guys for watching once again. If you like the video, and subscribe for more metal videos. I'll see you guys soon.